Hello, hello, people of the internet. My name is Simitrio, but you can call me Simi, and I want to break down this late 90s, early 2000s white Peavey Predator. It's got a beautiful relic going for it. I have a Jesus Christ. I have a Seymour Duncan SSL-5 in the bridge position. The middle and neck positions are just stock Squier ceramic pickups. The rest of the electronics are Squier electronics, and it actually all sounds pretty good. You'll get to see what the inside of that looks like. I have a backplate with a custom design on it, zebra, and we have black Guyker locking tuners on there. Let's join the kitty and look at these spare parts and see what we got going for ourselves. One thing that I do that you will see at the end of this video that I am not the clearest about during, or actually I don't have any footage of, is I swapped the pickup covers. So you'll see at the end here, I have a black pickup cover in the middle and a white pickup cover at the end. The current pickup covers on there are just a little too white. Here I'm going through some of the spare parts I have that are going to go, that I thought maybe were going to go on this guitar, but are actually going to end up going on some other guitars. While we're here, this Ken Armstrong HR1W, I can't find any info on. So if you magically know something about this pickup, it looks like it's a stacked noiseless single coil of some variety. I'm not sure if it goes in a neck or if it goes in the bridge position or the middle. So I'm gonna get that wired into a guitar one day, probably my Samick SRK 3000. But that's for another day, so let's put that away and get back to work. So you'll see I actually end up not using most of the parts here. I do end up using just the chrome knobs, and I end up switching the pickup covers on a different day. I didn't record that, but you'll see me here go ahead and loosen up these strings. While I'm doing that, loosening the strings and getting the pickguard off and fixing a grounding issue that this guitar was having, I kind of want to go over just some things I like about the guitar. Probably my favorite thing about this guitar is the neck, the maple neck. It is two pieces of maple glued together. It is super durable. Adjusting the truss rod is super easy, and I honestly had to adjust it once when I got it, and that was it. Ever since, it's been a unit. I think the Kaler, it's unbranded, but it is a Kaler tremolo from what I understand with some research on the internet. The Kaler tremolo and the saddles on the bridge are mint. I don't think you need to replace those at all. I did receive the original electronics with this guitar when I got it, and they were nothing to write home about, so I promptly swapped them out with the electronics of a Strat I had lying around. I do think these guitars are a great value if you can find them, maybe 200 and under. I wouldn't really spend more than that, maybe 250 if you're desperate for that neck, but try them out first. You know, the neck might not be your thing. It's a 9 to 12 inch compound radius neck. I think it feels great on my hands, but I could imagine if my hands were slightly smaller, that, you know, might be a little big and a little uncomfortable to navigate the fretboard. So obviously, the beautiful part of guitars, so much of it is preference, and it's what you enjoy. I love this neck. I think for how wide it is and how thin it is incredible. Especially if you can find one for a good deal. I find that there's a lot of people who just have these, and you know, they were cheap guitars when they came out, but they get rid of them for even, you know, far cheaper than what they probably could get for them. So if you do find one on a deal, I'd highly recommend it, but I certainly would not overpay for these. So let's go ahead and fix this grounding issue. You'll see, actually, as I pulled off the pickguard, that the output cable to the output jack was torn off. So you'll see me just solder that real quick. Boom. All the other wiring here is pretty straightforward. I love that about a 3 single coil setup Strat. The wiring is just dead easy. I do believe these are all 250K pods. That honestly, 250K, 500K pods, I know that there is a difference, but I just can't. With the single coils, at the very least, I have never really found a difference in the resistance of the potentiometers that I use. So I just left the Squier ones in there. This is going to be a project. That's the harsh truth, unfortunately, is that this guitar still needs some more work. The frets, you'll see towards the end, need a little bit of filing down. They're starting to sprout out, and they're not getting my hand caught on them, but they are certainly not comfortable, and they are very noticeable when you're kind of sliding your hand up and down the neck. So that's going to need some work. Besides that, you know, I do see a world where I switch the pickups again on this for maybe a full set of single coils, or maybe I'll throw in, you know, 3 dual hot blade pickups or something and just make this thing rock. I don't know. I really do enjoy it though for the simplicity. This is my only 3 single coil pickup Strat. I feel like these are kind of a classic. If you don't have one, you should have one. It's like it's the guitar. It's the guitar. You know what I mean? It's either that or it's like a Les Paul or an SG. But like these are the guitars. So I do recommend having at least one 3 single coil Strat with 3 knobs on it and a 5-way switch. And maybe a 6-point tremolo. Honestly, I really don't love the 6-screw tremolos though. I actually love that this one is 4 screws. You'll see. I don't know if you can tell, but you'll see in some of the other shots, it's only 4 screws. I find that it feels just a little bit more balanced to, you know, to kind of play with, and I like that. The 6-screw ones, there's just something about them that they never really slide right when you're trying to use the tremolo. So I do actually like this a lot. I do see, you know, somebody might not like it and they'll throw something else on there, and more power to them. But I think those do not need to be replaced. The output jack probably doesn't need to be replaced. The frets and the neck are beautiful. So I think tuners and electronics are probably the only thing you're going to need to replace on this guitar. I hope you all are enjoying this so far. This is, you know, my first guitar video, and it's kind of my first normal video. If you know anything about this channel, which I'm sure most of you don't, but this channel was primarily focused on, you know, video editing itself, whether that be Call of Duty and Destiny montages way back in the day, or whether that be, you know, some of the just footage of me and my friends hanging out. It was never really focused on me, this channel, so it's a big pivot for me. I'm usually behind the camera. I'm usually in the editing software. I'm not usually in front of it or talking to the mic, so bear with me through all this. We're gonna give this guitar a wipe down with some Dunlop 65. I do find that this actually is pretty great. You know, I'm not one for like proprietary cleaners, but when you're talking about guitar finishes, I do think that there is something to be said about making sure that you're just taking care of them. And I do find that the Dunlop 65 doesn't mar anything. It doesn't destroy any of the materials on the guitar, and it's definitely worth, you know, getting one of these big old bottles. I believe, I don't know, I think this is maybe like 10 or 15 bucks. It's really not bad, and I've had it for probably the whole year now, and it's still halfway full. So you don't need to use a lot. You'll see me probably use more than I should, but I just really like to get into all of the nooks and crannies. Another thing that I find pretty helpful, you'll see me whip out a auto detailing brush for like the interior of cars. And I find that, honestly, if you're really just looking for things to clean your guitar with for cheap, automotive supplies ain't bad, especially if you're just looking for things that are a little less aggressive. This brush is probably a little more scratchy than I would like, but I'm using it on an old guitar, and I'm not too worried about it. If you have nicer guitars, I'm sure you already have a method of keeping those clean, so So more power to you there. But for me, I find that these work well. Keeping your guitar strings clean is so important to your tone. It sounds so silly, but man, wash your hands, wash the guitar, wash the strings, change them semi-regularly if you're not going to keep them clean, because you'll definitely hear a difference with all the dirt kind of compacted onto guitar strings. There does need to be some cleaning going on if you're wanting to maintain a more bright sound. If you're into like maybe a darker, sludgier sound, I'm sure maybe your hand to grime is perfect for that. But I try to keep it as clean as possible. Although I'm not perfect, I will definitely not pass a grime check on any of these guitars if you came and looked at them. So. We're about halfway through this video now. I just want to say thank you all for watching this far, if you're here. And if you're interested in guitars and this type of content, stick around. But also, you know, you'll see some interesting stuff in the backgrounds of these B-roll shots. If there's anything that you want me to talk about, I'm more than happy to talk about it. I love technology. I love computers. I love anything that I can get my hands on and kind of take apart and learn more about. So. Here it is, the finished Peavey Predator. We have that black single coil pickup in the middle. I think this thing is pretty gorgeous. And yeah, it might need a little bit of work in the future, but man, it is certainly playable today. Let me know if you guys want me to make a video on maybe some of the terminology that I'm using. If you're newer to guitars and a lot of this, you know, the words I'm throwing around just don't make sense. That is understandable. I actually just started playing in January of 2025, and so we're just over a year now, a year and a month. I've learned enough to be able to play and have fun. I certainly have so much more to learn. I feel like your guitar journey is probably never over. I'm sure I'll be learning things until the day I die. I want to say that I've made a lot of progress in just a year. So if you are interested in maybe just some of the terminology I've learned, or if you want me to break down what I've learned and how I got to where I am guitar-wise in a year, I would love to explain that to people. I think that there's a lot that goes into learning anything that you want to learn for the first time, especially as an adult. I will say learning guitar at the ripe age of 23 was like, I don't know what it is. It's a little embarrassing. It feels a little embarrassing to hold an instrument and not know anything about it as a grown man. So if you relate to that and it's just all a little intimidating and discouraging, I get it. I would love to kind of break down my process on that. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. Yeah, anyways. All right. Chug sounds. This middle pickup was kind of getting in my way, so I've lowered it a ton. If we go to that middle pickup, it sounds fine. It's gonna be just muddy because it's not closer to the strings. I don't find myself using that pickup very often, I'm not gonna lie to you. This one, it sounds fine, but it also just gets in my way, so it's not worth the hassle. This neck pickup though, I think it sounds surprisingly good. If we go to something a bit cleaner, in that neck position still. I'm honestly not the best clean player, so I've only been doing this for a year. Here is that bridge position clean. I think that bridge sounds surprisingly good. Did a little bit of research on this SSL-5 before I got it, and people seem to really enjoy it, and I do see the appeal now. I saw that it was mostly being used in bridge position, but I could imagine it sounding really good in the neck too. But I think the cheap Squier ceramic pickup honestly sounds sounds good. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. It sounds good. I'm happy with this guitar where it's at. Frets are gonna need a little bit of work. They're sprouting. I'm not sure if it's, you know, a humidity thing or a temperature thing, but they do seem to have gotten worse over the winter time. So this guitar is pretty sweet. I do see it being a project down the line, which is kind of fun. I mean, I think I look at these guitars kind of like cars, or honestly, building your own computer. You might end up, you know, kind of creating a project out of it, and sometimes those projects take a little bit of work, a little bit of love. But I think that's what keeps them kind of fresh. Like I don't see this guitar getting boring for me, right? Like I see a world where I probably switch out these pickups for something more fun. Maybe move this Seymour to the neck and try that at some point. You know, this is gonna be the project guitar, the fun experimental guitar. If you like this video, like it. If you didn't like this video, there's a comment section, and I would love to know why. Bear with me. I'll have some more videos coming. I want to start streaming. I'm thinking maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays at least, just to start. Working on these guitars kind of in person. If you guys have any questions, I'll be in the chat. And I can answer those for you. I'm no expert, but I've done a lot of stuff to some of these guitars. I actually want to go ahead and let's preview some of these guitars that are going to be on the channel. So these beauties. So this is a recently picked up Charvel. Is it Charvel or Charvel? Let me know on that too. I traded a Peavey Predator and a red Peavey Predator and another parts caster for this thing, and I love it. It has I believe it is a Pro Mod neck and a SoCal like a San Dimas body. I'm not sure. I'll have more info on this when I actually make the video, but it's pretty sweet. Custom pickguard. I want to rewire it a bit, but I'll go more in depth on that video. This bad boy is an already modified, but also another sort of project guitar. This is my I believe it's an 2001 PRS Santana SE. I love this thing. I think it is gorgeous. I don't see myself ever getting rid of this guitar. I'm thinking about potentially scuffing up this neck. I would hate to ruin the finish on such a beautiful guitar, but these glossy backs they're not really my thing. So we'll see. I don't know, but I for sure want to take these pickup rings off and put them on that other guitar, and maybe go back to the black ones because it's already pretty flashy, and these chromes are 2 different shades of chrome. So kind of bothers me. Anyways, if you enjoyed this and you want to see more, I always want to be creating stuff, so let me know what you want to see. I want to work on these guitars on stream, so I'll do that on YouTube. I'll also probably do that on Twitch, and I'll leave links to those in the description. I appreciate your time, appreciate you watching this, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, cool. Alright, dope. You can go now. It's that way. Okay.